The 2021 Paris-Roubaix was a race that few will forget. The Hell of the North, as it's referred to, thoroughly lived up to its name, with wind and rain making the brutal cobbles of northern France even tougher than in previous years. Not only that, but Saturday saw the first ever edition of the women's Paris-Roubaix. Lizzie Deignan took the win on a special edition Trek Domane, and keep watching to see more of that very interesting bike. If you've not gathered by now, this is not your regular road race, and as such, you may have noticed some road bike tech not normally found on pro-level road bikes. But fear not, because we're here to give you the inside scoop on our top 5 tech trends from the 2021 edition of Paris-Roubaix. Reports of the death of rim brakes have been greatly exaggerated over the years, at least in the pro peloton. But the 2021 Paris-Roubaix was the race to finally kill them off, with the last holdout of rim brakes, Ineos Grenadiers, now finally switched from rim brakes to discs. The race did not feature any significant climbs, so any weight penalty gained from going to discs isn't an issue, while the consistent stopping power and better modulation of disc brakes are a significant plus on the slippery cobbles of Roubaix. The fact disc calipers don't get clogged up with mud and that the brakes are a sealed system is also a real advantage, not least in conditions like those that affected Sunday's race. Plus, disc brakes don't interfere with tyre width and clearance. In years gone by, you would sometimes see pros opt for bikes with cantilever brakes to up their tyre clearance when running extra wide tyres at Paris-Roubaix. But as in cyclocross races, disc brakes have taken over, giving riders the same advantage of plush tyres with decent stopping as a bonus. Which brings us on nicely to our next trend. Wider tyres have long been a feature of Paris-Roubaix. The chance to run lower tyre pressures helps take some of the sting out of the cobbles, while the larger contact patch gives the advantage of improved grip over the pavé. So, it was no surprise to see the pros running wider rubber on Sunday than in the majority of races. What has changed is that the modern crop of pro-level road bikes can easily accept those tyres without compromising clearance or component choices. Take, for example, the bike of men's winner Sonny Colbrelli. The Italian used his regular race day bike, the Merida Reacto. This is an aero machine that can take a 30mm tyre, and Colbrelli took full advantage of that clearance. In years gone by, tyre width at Paris-Roubaix maxed out at roughly 28mm. But we expect that most riders at the 2021 race were on 30mm tyres as a minimum. Tubeless tires are another one of those road bike trends that have received a mixed response from the pros, many of whom seem to still love their good old tubulars. But again, the tide seems to be turning, and the Hell of the North provided the ideal battleground to prove the potential advantages of the newer technology. We've already seen tubeless tyres used in the early season spring classics, and they've cropped up in time trials too, where the lower rolling resistance compared to tubular tyres can give an edge. Continental's new Grand Prix 5000 STR was apparently used by Filippo Ganna to retain his title in the individual time trial at the recent Road World Championships. Conti's revamped tubeless tyre was also used widely across the peloton at Paris-Roubaix, including by Colbrelli en route to winning the men's race. The winner of the women's Paris-Roubaix, Lizzie Deignan, was also using Pirelli P0 Race TLR tubeless tyres. Tubeless clinchers are a smart option for wide tyres on rough surfaces. You don't need to worry quite so much about pinch flats and can therefore run them at slightly lower pressures than a clincher tyre with a tube. Let us know what tyres you'd be running for this in the comments. The talk at Paris-Roubaix may be about gains and losses on the cobbles, but the bulk of the 258km men's route is actually on tarmac, with only 55km of pavé. Being flat too, it's always a fast race, with winners usually averaging well over 40km per hour. So while all the column inches might be taken up with talk about adaptations for the cobbles, like double-wrapped bar tape and the aforementioned wide tyres, go faster features are also significant. The tide really turned when Matt Hayman won in 2016 on the rim brake Scott foil aero road bike. Fast forward 5 years and aero was touching almost everything at the 2021 edition of the race, from integrated cockpits to deep section wheels free from the constraints of running rim brakes. Team's star riders are now routinely kitted out in aero clothing too, including aero helmets and skin suits, even for a 258km race. Paris-Roubaix has always drawn out some unusual bike choices, from modified cyclocross bikes to 1994's most iconic full suspension Bianchi. Latterly, it's become something of a showcase for brands to remind the buying public that they don't just make race bikes, and that their endurance bikes can also mix it up at the top level of the sport. Take the Specialized Roubaix. It's named after the race and has been ridden to multiple victories over the years. However, while the majority of riders stuck to their regular race rig with a few choice Paris-Roubaix upgrades, some teams did switch to comfort-focused bikes. Lizzie Deignan, who rode the Trek Domane on her way to winning the women's race, was even fitted with a 1x setup for the race, pairing a 50-tooth front chainring with a 12-speed 10 to 33-tooth cassette. If you want to see more on that bike, head to BikeRadar.com, where we have a full gallery on the bike, or check the link in the video description. And there you have it, our top 5 Paris-Roubaix tech trends for 2021. What did we miss, and what would you have included in the list? Do you think Paris-Roubaix should be moved to October every year? As always, leave your thoughts in the comments, don't forget to like and subscribe, and click that little bell icon so every time we upload a video like this, you will get a notification.